It's like the bedrock on which our democracy stands type shit.
Yeah.
Like, we have to be able to live in a world where, like...
We're sounding very libertarian right now.
I'm just
getting nervous.
Wait, no, fuck! I don't know, everybody should have fucking health insurance.
I thought I saw you late last night and Brooklyn,
There have been many times in my life where I've had like male mentors,
Oh,
and there's the the Don Draper, Peggy Olson dynamic of it all. That I never felt with you.
Oh, that's great.
You were like,
Thank
let's
God.
get this party rolling, as opposed to like, I'm gonna be weird and like kind of fucked up about this. So,
I take that as
mazel.
a very fucking high compliment. Thank you. Thank you. You're a queen.
I'm like.
I
what is
honestly
the
feel like
TV
you are my
equivalent?
mentor.
Oh, that's too much. That's silly.
1,000%.
I appreciate that, but I simply don't believe it.
Well, I feel like that was part of what you're talking about. That energy, I feel like, is what made Six Pack like good and cool. Is because it started like all good ideas do. Like we're at a bar.
Yeah.
And we were talking about we were talking about sex, we were talking about losing our virginity, or what it's like to be a person who wants to lose their virginity.
Simply not being able to give it away fast enough.
Just throwing it out into the universe, begging for anyone to take it.
I couldn't have lost it fast enough.
Just desperate to get rid of it. Wanted it off.
Yeah.
Like it was a pack of bees on my face. Just
I was afraid I was gonna die a virgin at 17. I remember the morning I lost my virginity, or the morning after, I driving home and being like, thank God I'm not gonna die. I really saw that one coming.
When it happened, was it like the first attempt was also like you achieved liftoff? Because I don't know if I know this. Because my experience of losing my virginity was like walking into a rake and then bam, it smacks you in the face, and then you walk into another rake and then bam, it smacks you in the face. Like it was so many wrong experiences.
What's the
before it went?
What's
right?
the rake?
The rake was just me sticking my foot in my mouth or fumbling over my own hands or just not being able to make the thing happen.
Make the whoopee happen.
No whoopee.
Yeah.
It was a whoopee free zone. It was not Sister Act.
Yeah.
And then eventually it did, and it was the heavens parted. But it took so much trying to get there.
So much trying to is anybody willing to have sex with me, or you mean the literal coming? Okay,
well, so the first time, it almost happened.
Yeah.
It almost happened. So I was transferring around to a lot of high schools when I was younger. I didn't really stay at one school for more than a few months. So every time I would change schools, I would always try on this new personality.
Yeah. Oh God, I would have loved to have done that.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it sounds also traumatic, but
I still think maybe I'm doing it. It was ska kid at one school, and then total rap kid at another school, and rave monkey somewhere else, and just figuring it out, right? And so this girl I met when I was in the middle of this tough guy, kind of bruiser. I was listening to a lot of hip hop. I was wearing a lot of camo, a lot of Timbs, and just being fuck it,
I do
I'm
not
a fucking
know
tough
him.
guy. Yeah, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
It wasn't me, but I'm a teenager. I'm trying. So,
Yeah.
I'm hanging out, and it was one of these weird things where it all just happened so fast. I'm smoking a cigarette, and I'm yeah, you want to drag on my cigarette? She's yeah, okay, cool. And it's then it was hey, you want to go back to my crib or whatever? Because I was I'm a latchkey kid. I can always get in my little house. She was sure. And we get there, and she dead ass looked me in the eyes. And was so you want to fuck?
Whoa.
And I was no.
Was she a teenager too?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And she was that bold?
She was ready. She was I'm here for this. Queen shit.
Yeah.
I fucking bow down. I did not
amazing.
deserve it at the time. I was not ready for it at the time. It just happened, and I was oh my God. I was okay, let's do this. So I've been building up this moment for so long. Like I'd really been like hyping this up in my head. Like I had at any given moment, like pockets full of condoms. Like
3 on at all
like,
times, just in case.
Exactly. Like I listened to Loveline. I knew what being a good little boy was all about. So I was like prepped with that. I had like the sex mix ready to go, like burned on a CD that I was like, I want to throw this in when it's time to happen, and then I'm gonna throw down, you know. And then so I'm like, all right, here we fucking go. I put, you know, the sex mix on.
Yeah.
I hit play.
Wow.
I like look at her in the eyes, you know, I'm trying to get all sultry with it. And it's like the beats kicking in the background. It's all like, you know, like Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Oh, yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Just like any 15-year-old white boy should be playing when he loses his virginity.
But then it's like a CDR, so it starts skipping. It's like woo, 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 tang, 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 fuck, not, fuck, king, you are getting, no, put, not happening. And I was like, oh my God, like all the energy that I was using to like try to keep this persona, it was just like, oh no, where to go? You know, like, fuck. And like, I could not, like Lil Noah was not up to the task. He was like, he could not rise to the occasion. Yeah, and like, I was giving him pep talks, like, come on, buddy, we're supposed to do this. This is supposed to happen, you know?
So this is not the night you lost your virginity.
So this is what I'm saying, like, I had a lot of experiences like that,
Yeah.
where it was like,
Okay.
whereas,
This is the rake.
This is the rake. This is the
Got it,
fucking,
got it.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Did you have rakes, or was it straight on the slip and slide?
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I had a lot of rakes.
Yeah.
I had like, you know, whatever, a smattering of like just truly hideous sexual experiences with,
Fair.
you know,
Fair.
little nasty boys from Skagit Valley.
Oh.
But yeah, no, the night that I lost my virginity, it was a total surprise to me. It was a guy who would later like show me his gun in the back of his car, like, because that was like what happened in Skagit Valley. This is, you know, like, I'm super proud to say the moment of, you know, glorious penetration of losing my virginity was in a hot tub. And I remember thinking like, no, wait, not this moment, like, just wait, no. And I remember being like, that's it, right? Like and I was like, and it's done. I am no longer a virgin. And then we had sex like inside the house, like the house party we were at. And it was not, I mean, it was fine. I don't know. I ended up having sex with him a few more times, but yeah, not.
Was this before or after he showed you the gun?
This was before the gun. This was sort of pre-gun. But then there was a few times, if you can believe it, after the gun.
I believe it. I know Sammy.
Yeah, but no. So that was how I lost my virginity. And then I remember one time I went to a party and like everyone got really wasted, including myself. But some like drunk upperclassman was like, oh, Detzer, like, you like to read a lot. Like, he was, like, trying to, like, tease me or something, or maybe flirt with me. And I said, like I was a character from Veronica Mars, something like, your wit astounds me.
Oh,
and, like,
savage.
pushed past him. And, like, I felt so powerful and so snarky and cool. And now, when I say it, I feel so embarrassed.
No, I feel like that's when you were born. I think we just heard your origin story. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
this is your Batman.
I was just like, oh my God, it's cool to be mean to people sometimes.
Or whatever, just like more savagely funny than anyone can handle.
I mean, hopefully my humor improved over time. Like, that wasn't like the funniest thing I've ever said, but I think on a high school level.
Your wit astounds me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a read. Top tier read.
Yeah.
So when I actually lost my virginity,
I
I was doing like summer stock Shakespeare.
Of course.
I was an intern on Two Gentlemen of Verona.
Okay, the sexiest play on the planet.
Fucking hot shit, right? It's basically a spear carrier, but it was like some weird update, so I was a golf club carrier.
God. Well, I hate Shakespeare. That is so embarrassing.
Yeah. So this was like one night after a show, I went back to the house of the people who owned the company, like owned the Shakespeare company. And then like hell's a nice mansion with a hot tub.
Okay, now I'm listening. Now I'm horny. Yeah, go on.
Right. It was just these two people who owned the company, me and the like Irish set designer.
Where was the rest of the cast? Why were they not there?
I was getting played. I was 100% getting played.
What does that mean? Like
So,
they lured you there for
They
sex?
lured me there for sex, and I loved it. And it was not with them, it was with this like Irish
Why
set
did
designer.
they care if you fucked the Irish set designer?
I think the Irish set designer was in town working on the show.
And she was like, I sure would love to have sex with an enthusiastic young man.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I gotta start telling people that.
Yeah, you just tell everyone you know. And so like I showed up there, and like, cause like we were just hanging out around their little coffee table. They like pulled out like a bottle of Jack Daniels, and we just faded the whole thing. And I swear the set designer like carried me up the stairs. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like it was great. I was like, thank goodness.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Finally, the rake missed my face.
But I do always feel like when people are like, when they tell their story of like, my first boyfriend and I, like, we were so in love or whatever, like we did it on a boat. I'm like, have you ever been in a hot tub? Do you know what that's
bubble
like?
jets.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
They are hitting. So, Samie.
I don't think you needed to put that on to broach the.
Tell me about, first of all, before we get into it, I have a question for you, Samie.
Sure.
Who is Samie Smash?
I honestly don't know that I've answered that question before. I don't know that I have a good answer. I think, yes, I think Samie Smash is a little bit of my alter ego,
Okay.
a little bit of my id, a little bit of my inner child, a little bit of my future self. It is also a drink combination that I invented, which is a shot of tequila and a White Claw, mango White Claw, or lime White Claw, depending on the
And you pour the tequila into the White Claw, just to be clear.
No, you just
it's
drink them
one-
together.
Bum, bum, bum. Okay.
You could pour them both in at the same time and just sort of shake your mouth like this. But it is also, it is sort of the. I mean, it definitely comes out when I've been drinking. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's what goes without saying. But it is also like, I don't know. For all of my sassiness,
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who gets angry very easily.
Never.
Okay, you're saying that like I have been angry, and I am telling you I don't get angry very often.
I know.
But no, I feel like Samie Smash is like, it's like when I want to tear shit up. And it's like sometimes I want to tear shit up because I'm having a fun time, and sometimes
Yeah.
I want to tear shit up because I want to tear shit up.
So my memory of the birth of Samie Smash entering the universe.
Samie Smash Jr., yeah.
was the going away party for Katie.
yeah.
Right? Like going to New York, karaoke night.
It was your going away party.
It was our going away, but it was really Katie's going away party because she
Left before you.
left before me, like a month before me.
Yeah.
But so it was Katie's going away party. We're doing karaoke. Samie sings Like a Prayer.
Yeah.
And like I just remember you getting up on a table as the song's building up, it's like a prayer, I'll take you there. And then when the chorus really hits, just like a prayer, like
Yeah,
you
it was
punch the air,
let the choir sing,
boom!
Yeah.
And you literally knock the lights out. You
and
punch.
blood pouring down my arm. And I kept singing, and my foot was cut and filled with blood, and my hand was filled with blood.
Yes!
Yes, that is probably.
That's when I was like, there's Samie
And
Smash.
how
There
devastating
she
for you
is.
to have been moving to New York shortly after that, to be like, oh my God, this is who Samie is, and I have to move away now.
But I feel like every time you visited,
Yeah,
it was like
brought
it
that
was
energy.
Well, no, exactly. Yeah, it was like instantly like, oh, okay, we're having fun now.
one of my writing teachers and a sort of friend of mine, Angela Garbez from Seattle, she talks about herself as being a pleasure-seeking missile.
Ooh, yes.
And I feel that way about myself. And that's where I feel like some of the Samie Smash comes in, is like, I'm just gonna smash through anything to get to the pleasure receptors.
Ooh.
So,
you moved to New York.
yeah.
We synced back up. It was like instantly, it was like two magnets coming back together.
Yeah.
And then this New Year's, we decided to go to
Las Vegas.
20 minutes later.
And it was fucking freedom!
It was freedom.
It was freedom.
And we got kicked out of a tiki bar.
Oh.
I still stand by the fact that what I did was not so bad.
I
yeah.
agree, for the record. I 100% agree.
Behind some wrapping paper, there was a picture of a pinup, and I pulled the wrapping paper down.
You are underselling this.
Was I being more destructive?
I feel like there was this moment where like Katie,
Oh yeah.
who was so totally the only sober one that night,
Yeah.
looked at you with these big doughy innocent eyes and was like,
She's gonna be really mad that you put this on her.
look at that wrapped up painting on the
I
wall.
wonder what's under it. And I was like, Samie Smash knows. And we got kicked out. Well, they told us we were kicked out.
Yeah.
And I feel like Katie and I, despite my Samie Smashedness, I am still a teacher's pet. So I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, well, can I please still pay my bill?
I know, you like insisted on like giving him a tip. I was like, we're getting kicked the fuck out right now.
Yeah. And then did you just rip it off the wall?
I got your back, yes. I ripped all the wrapping paper
How
off.
is he getting my back to
I
rip
was like,
it further?
if you're gonna start the fire, I will pour some gasoline on it.
You got my chaos back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can play off of each other. But I feel like it was remarkable because I have never been in a place in the world that felt like as permissive and as like anything fucking goes, like as Las Vegas. And yet, Samie smashed too hard for Vegas, which I feel like is an accomplishment. That bar was so weird too because I feel like it was way off the strip, in the middle of like a
But
mall.
we both knew about it. It had been recommended to both of us, right?
Yeah, and it was like nail salon, Quiznos, Sports Center, nail salon.
Yeah, bury me there.
The doors to the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
And then we walk in and it's like an Indiana Jones ride that serves alcohol.
Yeah, and the bathroom was full of dicks.
The bathroom was full of dicks and talking Polynesian statues that would scold you for pissing on the floor.
Yeah. We're not supposed to do tiki anymore, I think.
Polynesian.
Oh, but Polynesian is okay?
I mean, listen, I am not a judge or a Christian, so I'm not the one to answer this question.
All right, next topic.
I think one of the things that's interesting about Vegas to me is like, as opposed to New York, like I feel like New York, it's like there is this like promise of like parental benevolence, conditional on good behavior.
Huh.
Like I feel like in New York there truly are these like high status people. There are these like kings who can change your fucking life with the flick of a wrist.
Yeah.
And what you have to do to make them happy, like I don't fucking know. Like
Interesting. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here making it up for years, hoping to please them, but they're out there, you know?
Yeah.
So this whole city is kind of built on this sort of idea that you want to make mommy and daddy happy somehow. I think that's kind of a little bit baked into New York.
Very true, and I don't think I've been here long enough to like put my finger on that, but that's kind of true. Yeah.
There is a thing, but Vegas, there is no mom and fucking dad.
Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
There is no parental benevolence anywhere to be found. There's no even parental monitoring. It's like you are cast out on your own. Like the dream there is more like maybe like fluky luck and a little bit of bold energy will like make the roll of the dice like totally change my life.
Yeah.
You know, like it's this like thing of like worshiping at the church of chance.
Yeah, just like snake eyes.
Yeah, exactly, totally. Like another. Let him roll, you know?
Did you guys gamble when you were there?
I mean, we stuck $20 into,
Oh yeah.
you know,
I guess we
Crazy
did that.
Rich Angels
Oh yeah, that's.
Sorry, Crazy Rich Asians slot machine.
Do you like gambling?
I gamble with my life, Sammy. I don't need to gamble with my money.
Right, yeah. No, that's how I feel.
I mean, honestly though, like I feel like gambling to me is like table stakes. Like, okay, you're gonna gamble.
Oh, money? The stuff I set on fire all the time.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes. You fucking get it.
Yeah, it does nothing for me.
Yeah.
I get no high from gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a thrill seeker for
Yeah,
sure.
but that's not the thrill.
There's
That's just, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because money as a value system, power as a value system has never really done all that much for me.
Yeah. It's not the reason I'm here today.
I've never had much of either of those things,
Yeah.
so I've never really wanted much more
Yeah.
than just enough to get by.
Yeah.
What I want is to like be creative, is to make stuff, is to put things out into the world. That other stuff is like, I don't know, it's bureaucracy. I don't care, let some fucking paper pusher figure that shit out.
Yeah.
And they do, and they succeed, and whatever, it's fine. But you know, I mean, it doesn't like titillate me the way that, you know, parties titillate me, or like the idea of like being in some crazy fucking bacchanal makes me come alive,
Yeah.
you know? I've never had that feeling of like, oh, it's so good, I feel so good because of my money and power.
Yeah.
Like I'm too old now to change. Like,
Yeah.
no one gave it to me when I was young enough for me to fucking matter.
Yeah.
So why should I give that much of a fuck now? As long as I'm getting by.
Yeah, I would think
good
that
enough.
growing up poor would make us like obsessed with money, but I don't.
Yeah.
It seems cool, wouldn't mind having it. I'm here to
Totally.
take whatever you want to give it to me, but
Totally.
like, I really don't. I don't think about money, and maybe I don't know. Maybe that's like whatever privilege or whatever, but it's like, yeah, it just doesn't like. I don't even know how to think about it.
Yeah.
Or how to like care about it in a more intense way.
I mean, I've lived through some real fucking lean times.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go back to that shit.
I would rather not, yeah. It'd be
Not
excellent to not
interested.
have to do that.
Not interested.
Yeah.
But like,
But even in those lean times, were you thinking like, I want to be rich or I want to be richer?
no.
Yeah, I really don't.
Purely just, I want to make a living.
Yeah.
So I can keep having fun with my friends, so I can keep making stuff, so I
Yeah.
can keep like living,
Yeah.
you know, like the like big juicy carrot of mansions and wealth and opulence. It's like it always felt so fucking far out of reach that I never really grasped for it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I had a thought the other day where I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna own a house. Like, I don't think that's ever
I don't
gonna
know.
happen.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, and maybe it doesn't even, it's not even about that, it's just like, that's, yeah, not a driving force for me.
I mean, sure. I don't know. Yeah, if someone dropped a sack of money on this table, I would take
I would take it, I'd bring it with me.
What's the most you've ever stolen?
Whoa,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't think I've ever stolen cash before. But
Okay.
in high school, it was like a big thing where we'd steal clothes from Nordstrom.
Oh, yeah.
I'd put on like 6 bras.
Yeah.
Like 6 push-up bras. So I was like, my tits were out here with bras. And why I needed
no one
so
noticed?
many bras, I don't know. And I feel like that like carried on to maybe my freshman year of college. And then I remember one time trying to steal something from Urban Outfitters in downtown Seattle, and I like was wearing 2 shirts or whatever the thing was, 2 pairs of pants, and I walked out and the alarm went off. And I just kept walking, and I was like, I can never do that again. I almost shit these pants. Like, I cannot ever do that again. Yeah, what about you? Did you steal
What, stealing stuff?
Yeah, you never?
Me?
Yeah.
Little angel me? Never. I mean, when I was in high school, I would steal food because I was hungry.
Oh, okay, now
Yeah.
I sound like an asshole
I
stealing
would fucking
bras.
do that. I'd be like, I don't want to be hungry anymore, so I'm gonna take this sandwich. But you know, I was also a shithead. I'd like wear big baggy jeans and shove like a 5th of vodka in there and walk out of the store. Like, yeah, like normal stuff.
Yeah, normal teenage shit.
Normal shit. I remember I got banned from Amoeba Records in San Francisco because there was this like local rap group that I really liked called The Coup, and they had an album that was called Steal This Album.
No.
Yeah. So I stole that album, and I got caught, and they like fully dragged me in the back, like took the Polaroid picture of me, put me on the like wall of shame, do not let this like hooligan into the store again ever. Called my mom, I had to get like picked up by my mom. Guys, I stole
The album that told me to.
steal this album.
It was a big thing. We sold from Whole Foods a lot too. Like I would get a sandwich made. Yeah.
You know, until all the groceries in the grocery store are free, free samples will never truly be free.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Such a proletariat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help here for the common man.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about Standing Alone. Like, okay, I watched High Noon. Do you know High Noon?
No.
Okay, High Noon. I feel like, okay, because we've done the thing, we've like told a lot of stories about ourselves. Let's talk about like, okay, what do we think about shit, you know?
Okay.
What do you think about shit? So like, High Noon is like this movie where there's a band of robbers. They're coming into town at high noon, and the sheriff is like, let's fuck around and fucking womp these suckers. And the rest of the town is like, we don't want the smoke. Like, we're out. Like, so the whole movie is basically the sheriff going around to everybody being like, will you get my back? Will you get my back? Will you get my back? And everyone in the town is like, no, we won't get your back at all. We don't want this. We're out. So the sheriff is just like, fuck it. It's me versus all of them. I'm going mano a mano. And he fights them, and he wins, and he saves the town, but he's so fucking disgusted with the town, he's like, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah.
Y'all are a bunch of suckers. So that's like standing alone. You know, like what's something you have stood alone for?
Well, I know. I want you to go first. I don't know. What is yours?
Ask you a question.
I know you came up with a question, but
I can't alley my own oop.
I'm pretty sure you can alley your own oop.
Stop it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind being brave, but I like to check in with a few other people before I'm gonna go ahead and be brave. I'm sure there are stupid versions of this, but I do feel like one of the first times that I felt like I was like standing alone, even though, again, I was very much not standing alone, was doing the stuff about shout your abortion. I was like, I think I very quickly was like, oh, I really don't feel
I
bad.
admire the fucking
Thank
hell
you.
out of
I
it.
appreciate that. But I was definitely just like, I don't feel bad about this, and I think everybody is telling me I should probably feel bad. And the only reason I say that I didn't like do that on my own is because I was like talking with my people who I love and who have inspired me, and yeah.
I mean, let's just take a minute to pause and reflect on the fact that you were fully cross-examined by senators who wanted to like pin you to the fucking wall for bullshit.
Yeah.
And you were able to stand up to those fuckers and be like, how about a little dose of hell no? Why don't I
That's
serve
how it
you up a
felt,
little
yeah.
bit of smack you in the face? It's fucking hero shit.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I wish that I didn't need to share the personal details of my life, of my mother's life, with a room full of strangers, and yet here I am. I'm telling these two stories because of the dual responsibility that I feel to honor both my mother and my little niece. The responsibility that I have to honor the past and fight for a better future. The members of this committee, the members of this Senate have a choice. The choice lawmakers have is how difficult you will make it for us to exercise our freedom, how much pain and trauma you will cause, how many bank accounts will be drained, and how many miles will be traveled, and how many tears will be shed.
That actually felt, that felt perfectly brave enough. That felt cool. But like, it was like more the idea of like early on when I was just like posting on Facebook being like, I had casual sex and I had an abortion and I don't feel bad about it and I'm pretty sure that's okay, that felt very new and surprising. When I testified before Congress, I felt like I had enough experience where I was like, I'm telling the story, here's the story now, and I don't mind being like made tribute. Like I don't mind if people want to like heap some stuff on my back and then like push me forward, I'm like happy to. Like I will take on this and be made a fool so you maybe don't have to, which I think is like a good trait.
That is a superpower. Well, it's funny. I do think there's something about standing alone that is becoming a rarer character trait.
Yeah.
You know, like there is this sort of, you know, impetus to fall in with the general consensus of the hot take or whatever. You know, and that's fine too. Like, I do think that it doesn't really matter if an opinion is popular or unpopular. What matters is if you're able to look at it squarely in the eye and say, either this vibes with me or this doesn't fucking vibe with me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stand according to what's right in my heart, you know? Like.
And I do think that's like, becoming ever more important, whatever, like, you know, as the court of public opinion plays out on social media, whatever, it's like, we've all got to decide what are our things that we stand for and that we care about and that might have like different nuances from our friends, and acknowledge that like, yeah, they're maybe not always right or whatever, but like, we gotta, be comfortable talking about them at the very least, if not standing alone for them.
Well, I think that part of standing alone is also like this belief that incongruity is okay.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is pretty fucking fundamental.
Yeah.
It's like the bedrock on which our democracy stands type shit.
Yeah.
Like we have to be able to live in a world where like...
We're sounding very libertarian right now.
I'm just
getting nervous.
Wait, no, fuck. I don't know. Everybody should have fucking health insurance.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anybody who's fucking homeless living on the street. They should get a house. They should get food.
Yeah.
Check some basic fucking boxes here. I'm not a wacko.
Yeah.
Like, I volunteer at a soup kitchen once a week because I really hate the fact
be a wacko
that there are rich people who are so fucking rich and
Yeah.
poor people who are so fucking poor. Breaks my fucking heart.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is more a comedy of manners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has more to do with like, you know, the way that new ideas are treated
Yeah.
and the way that people who might seem to be like other are treated.
Yeah.
You know? Which historically has fucked up marginalized people, right?
Yeah.
And still does. And I think at the root of it is this thing of like fear of the other, fear of the different, fear of the person who's standing the fuck alone. Where it's like, I don't know, maybe it's okay if somebody doesn't exactly gel with your worldview. That's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something else there. Maybe there's another way you can connect or another vibe you can fucking share. It doesn't have to be matching luggage all the fucking time. And I feel like we're in this world where it's like, it's gotta be matching luggage all the fucking time. If you don't know all the fucking salutes and secret handshakes, like you're fucking out, Buster. Like, I just don't get that, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. We shouldn't we shouldn't police each other.
Yeah. We shouldn't police each other.
Yeah. And what now?
Okay, all right, I got more of this shit. You don't think I'm fucking got a full clip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, no, but you can't just say you went back to your office as the time you stood alone. I feel
Why
like
not? There was literally fucking no one coming in. I was like kicking my feet up on the boss's goddamn desk, working all day for months because like I was the only motherfucker there.
I'm saying you can't say that because that sounds fun.
I'll pivot if I must.
I mean, I believe that you risk something.
I mean, look. I spent so much of my life being the only fucking freak in the party of normies.
Yeah. You risked a lot.
I got a million examples for you.
Yeah.
Like, when I was in middle school and I asked out that dude who I had a crush on, and that was fucking like scary as shit. And he said no, and then later he met me in the bathroom to kick my ass.
No.
Like, you know, fuck, you want that shit? You want that kind of fucking...
Yeah.
I'm pivoting.
Yeah, pivot.
Did that do it though?
That did it. That's
That
enough.
scratched it? That scratched the itch?
You got it. That's what I wanted.
Okay, but my question for you, my real question for you was gonna be, is there a difference between what we wanna see and what we wanna see represented?
Is there a difference between what we want to see? Yes.
Tell me.
Okay. Well, initially, what comes to mind when you ask that question is for me when I see theater. It's like
Yeah.
I want to. There are things that I want to see, or there's a style that I want to see. There's like spectacle that I want to see.
Yeah.
There's like humor. There is wildness. There's whatever chaos, and then but the representation of that is different. That feels like an intellectualizing of what I want to see. Right?
Yes, totally, yes. I'm 100% on the same page with you.
Okay. Yeah, is that how you feel?
I feel like, you know, like when we're kids, like, I feel like our first little taste of adulthood is oftentimes like getting a pet, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like a cat or a dog or a goldfish. And like pretty soon we realize these animals are like incredibly fragile. You know, like if we don't pay attention, the dog can run out in the street and get hit by a car. If we forget to feed Blinky, then no more fucking Blinky. He's
Blinky's
belly up
dead.
in the little fish tank, you know. And so our first taste of adulthood is like grappling with the mortality of animals.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't think it's a coincidence that like as kids, we all watch these cartoons about like these superhuman, cosmic, immortal fucking animals, you know, like Bugs Bunny can smoke a fucking stick of dynamite and it explodes in his face and he wipes the soot off and he's fine, you know, like
What's up, da?
exactly. You know, roadrunners jump off of cliffs, cats get run over by lawnmowers. Like, what we want to see represented is some reassurance, maybe, about the mortality of these animals that we've been left in charge of, you know?
Okay.
Like seeing these immortal animals on screen somehow reassures us about the very mortal animals that are in our care. But the reason I brought up cartoons is because I think it works really well to explain the dichotomy of like, there is a thing we want to see represented in cartoons, even as young kids, and we love it that it's represented. But what we actually want to see is the color.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the kaleidoscope of the explosions and the floaty stars and the squirrely curlicues and the fucking like, you know, psychedelic experience of color dancing in front of our eyes. Like, that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
And I do think there's a little bit of a tendency right now to put more emphasis on what do we want to see represented?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And not much curiosity about, well, okay, well, cool, but then like, what's the actual thing we want to fucking see? Like, what brings us to the party?
Yeah, what feels good on our...
Yeah.
when we rub our it against something. Like,
Yeah.
what is that thing that feels... Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, what feels good for you to, like, rub your...
Sammy, I love to rub my it up on everything I can. You know me. I'm Mr. Rub Up on
I
it.
know it's your butt's Instagram or whatever.
Do you know how I got my Instagram full of butts?
I have no idea.
Okay, so I started, like, I got a Finsta, you know, so it's like,
a
right,
fake Insta.
fake Insta.
And why?
Because I wanted an Instagram full of butts.
Okay.
My regular Instagram was full
So
of
boring.
baby pictures and shit. I was like, I don't care about any of this.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I got the Finsta, yeah, because it's like I can just open it and like, voila, you know?
Voila butts.
Bikinis and butts, yes.
And are you looking at it on the train?
So what I did is I got Maxim's issue of the 100 most attractive women, and then I created a Finsta that just follows those 100 women.
No. Wait,
trick,
really?
To trick the algorithm into just serving me butts. I was like, I know if I follow just these 100 women, my Discover page will be pure booty.
That feels like such specific research to like, you could have just like been following like, I don't know, models or whatever, but you were like, I'm gonna get
I didn't even want the like bother of having to tap through. I just wanted it right there. Pure butts. At a tap.
pure butts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get nothing from looking at a butt. Unless it's my own butt, in which case I love it.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I'm
not a visual.
Yeah.
I'm an intellectual. I like talking about butts.
Books, not butts, please.
I'm a butterfly.